which loan fits you using one honest question. There are two loans that buy first rental buildings in Contra Costa, and picking the wrong one either wastes you hundreds of thousands of dollars of your cash or breaks federal loan rules. Here they are in plain words. FHA 3.5% down, but you must live in the building for 1 year. DSCR, no living there required. And the building's own rent qualifies for the loan, but you bring 20 to 25% down, and the rate runs 6.1 to 7.5% right now. I'm Roger with Remax Accord in Danville and a licensed agent here in Central Contra Costa, trained through Michael Blanc's syndication program to underwrite buildings before buyers write their first offer. Okay, so my promise here today, by the end of this, you'll know exactly which loan fits you using one honest question: the plan, the FHA path, the DSCR path, the question that picks, and the trap of mixing them and crossing wires, right? So comment loans and I'll DM you the side-by-side sheet right now. So step 1, the FHA path. This is the government-backed loan for people buying a home to live in. And it happens to allow buildings up to 1 to 4 units. Down payment at 3.5% on a $650,000 Concord duplex. That's about $23,000 down. Rates run closer to regular home loans, about 6.4% territory this week. And the lender counts 75% of the other rent towards your income, which helps you qualify. The cost of all of that generosity is one rule. You have to live in the building as your main home for at least a year. That's the whole deal. Cheapest entry in real estate, paid for with 12 months of your address. Action for step 1. If you're open to living in the building, get FHA pre-approval on the duplex and see your real number. Most buyers never ask. It's a bigger number than they think initially. Okay, right? So what is the DSCR loan? In plain words with no jargon, this stands for debt service coverage ratio. Forget the name. Here's the idea. The lender mostly ignores your paycheck. Instead, they ask one thing: does the building rent cover this building itself and the loan payment? If the building rents for $4,000 a month and the loan payment is $3,300, the rent covers the payment with a room to spare, and the loan works. The ratio, the rent divided by payments, is the DSCR. Lenders like to see 1.2 or better, meaning 20% breathing room. What it costs you, 20 to 25% down, and the rate between 6.1 and 7.5% right now. It's a bit higher than a home loan, but what it gets you is no living in the building requirement, and your own W-2 income doesn't really matter. The building qualifies, not your job. So comment loans, and I'll DM you the comparison sheet with numbers that happen to be active today. Step 2, that's the DSCR path. The action on it, before you fall for that, and you need to price it. On that same $650,000 duplex, DSCR is $130 to $160 instead of $23. If you don't actually look at the numbers, then you'll waste the entirety of a play and go down the drain. Quick note, the one-page comparison sheet with both loans, today's rates, and the qualifying rules is free and pinned in the comments. Grab it and keep watching, because the next part is the 30-second decision. Step 3, the one question that picks your loan for you. Will you actually live there in the building for 1 year? Not could you, but will you? If yes, FHA wins almost every time for this type of building. The down payment is 1/10 of the size, the rates are lower, and the rent credit helps you qualify. The whole cost is living next to somebody for a year, and most first-time buyers, that year is pretty much just the best landlord education money can buy. If no, and be honest here, then DSCR is your lane. You'll need the bigger down payment, and the building has to pencil hard because the rate is higher. So that's reality. That's not bad news. It just means that the building choice matters even more, which is actually where underwriting earns its actual keep. Quick pause here. This is for anyone watching who is actually trying to buy. The expensive mistake is not the rate. It's buying the wrong building, and you usually cannot see that from the listing. I'm Roger with Remax Accord here in Danville, a licensed real estate agent in Central Contra Costa, trained on Michael Blanc's syndication program to underwrite a building before it underwrites you. And I'll help you find and read the right deal before you ever get the chance to write an offer. If you are looking at a first-time building, there is a free buyer consultation link down below. All right, let's get back to it. Step 4, the mixing trap. Really pay attention to this, because here's the landmine, and it's not a serious one. It's a real serious one. Some buyers want FHA, small down payment, and DSCR freedom at the same time, so they tell the FHA lender they'll live in the building, collect the keys, and never move in. That is occupancy fraud on a federal backed loan. It's not a hack. It's not a gray area, and lenders, they do check. If you don't live there, you sign the papers that you're saying that you will. It's just full stop there, man. There's also a smaller legal version of this trap that affects the buy decision. Buyers pick a building that only pencils with FHA cheap terms, planning to move out at month 13. That's allowed, but run the month 13 math before you buy, because once you leave, you'll rent the older unit and the building has to actually stand on its own. So if you can't afford that, then might as well just not even move forward with it, right? The way I sequence this with buyers straight from the syndication training: pick the honest loan first, then only tour buildings that pencil under the loan's real terms. Loan first, building second. Buyers who do it backwards fall in love with the building and their loans. They just get carried away and fall apart. So quick recap: FHA 3.5% down, live there for a year, rent credit helps you qualify. DSCR 20 to 25% down, 6.1 to 2 to 7.5%. The building qualifies instead of your paycheck. One question picks: will you live there for a year? And never ever mix the answers. So here's the question that actually costs money if you skip it. If you buy with the wrong loan this year, what does unwinding that mistake cost you in cash, in time, or in a building that you can't keep? You don't have to know the answer alone. Book a free buyer consult with me, link down below. And we'll pick your loan and your first 3 target buildings in one sitting. What you really need to know next is why a building's cap rate has to beat your loan rate, and the deal quietly loses money. So watch a negative leverage video on your screen right now. That's it for today. If this helped, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.